Are dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Canavas. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. The show is live, so if you have any questions for our guest tonight or me, your host, call in with any dream questions also. That's 833-220-1200. You can just call in at 833-220-1200. So let's start the show tonight with my favorite little protection and clearing meditation. During the meditation, we're going to imagine using something that is small but powerful for you. Maybe something given to you in a dream by your guardian angel or a spirit guide or a deceased loved one, like an amulet or a piece of jewelry. So if you don't have one, just imagine holding your favorite flower or crystal or piece of jewelry in your hand. Anything that holds the power of love for you is a power gift. Okay, now get comfortable. Sit comfortably in a chair. Or if you want to, you can sit on the floor. Sit anywhere you want. And together we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to take them in as deep as we can, and we're going to hold them while anything that is not of our highest and best is captured in that breath of life, and then we're going to blow it across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to be converted into positive energy and light and returned to the universe. That way, we're not littering. We're not going to litter the universe with any negativity. And then we're going to build a protective bubble around ourselves using our power gift. All right, ready? All right, close your eyes. Feel yourself relaxing. Relax your shoulders. Feel yourself becoming centered in the chair, on the floor, against the wall, wherever you are. Now let's take in a deep breath, really, really deep. Hold it. Now blow it off across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Imagine it's over across the room. Just blow it out. Another deep breath in. Imagine any little tiny specks of negativity sucked into that breath. Now blow it out into the purple flame. One more time. Really deep breath in. Hold it as long as you can. Now blow it out across the room, where it's turned into positive light and returned to the universe. Now imagine your power gift in your hand. Swing it all around your head and your body to create a mirrored bubble of protection around you that is only going to let that which is of the highest and best and brought by your spirit guides into that bubble. Everything else, anything else that is not of your highest and best is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. In the meantime, you can just continue to listen to me. Our dreams are so much more than random firings from our brain while we're asleep. Sometimes they can actually give us information about our children, about our life, about their life. We can actually dream for others. Our guest tonight is going to be talking a little bit about that as well. So the dream question that came in the email to me this week was, what does it mean if you dream the same dream continuously? So a dream that you keep dreaming over and over is known as a recurrent or a recurring dream. And recurring dreams happen when you did not remember your dream, maybe previously, or you didn't understand the dream message, or the information that was in the dream the first time you dreamed it. So you keep getting the dream over and over again. Sometimes the situations will change. Sometimes the riddle of the words will change, but you haven't really solved the riddle of the dream. And this is seen in many of the multiple dreams of dreamers in the book. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases, that I wrote with Duke University medical Dr. Larry Burke. And it's based on his diagnostic dream research work at Duke University. When this happens, when you're having recurrent dreams over and over again, your inner guidance is using the dreams to communicate something really important to you, or you wouldn't be getting it over and over again. You just have the dream once, you'd forget it and move on. But you're not getting it. And the majority of recurrent dreams usually appear as a nightmare. So you won't dismiss the information, because it's very easy to forget a nice, cushy dream, but so hard and difficult to ignore a frightening nightmare. So recurring dreams reflect the presence of an unresolved or a persistent conflict in your life. Remember, dreams may speak with us with signs and symbols. So if you keep missing the signs and symbols and the message, your dream environment may shift into a nightmare to really get your attention. And that is why a recurrent nightmare can be a gift in disguise. So let me tell you a little bit about our amazing guest tonight, who's also a dreamer. But we share a lot in common. We both had breast cancer. We both had double mastectomies. And on November 19th, 2008, this guest's life turned upside down. She had a 7-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter, and she was told that she had stage 2A breast cancer. Now, she was the fourth generation in her family, fourth generation woman in her family to have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So on some level, she kind of knew it might happen. She was always kind of looking over her shoulder. But when it really did happen on her 39th birthday, it still was like a big punch in her stomach. And her diagnosis brought with her many questions, everything from how would I take care of my kids to how would I be able to work through treatment and pay her bills, to things like what color wig should she wear when she's bald, and most importantly, how is this cancer going to affect her children? And all of these questions were eventually answered while she was going through treatment, and she kept a journal. Yes, she did. She kept a journal, and she turned that journal into a book. So author Connie Bramer actually penned the book that I just found to be so fascinating I couldn't put it down. And the title tells you everything about her writing. She writes with the most incredible sense of humor you could ever imagine. How Connie Got Her Rack Back. Yeah, that is the title of the book, How Connie Got Her Rack Back. So I'd like to welcome you to the show, Connie. Connie Bramer, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Kat. I appreciate you having me on the show tonight.
So, Connie, I know from my own experience how frightening it is to hear those words, those 4 words, you have breast cancer. And you heard those words at your 39th birthday. I heard them in a dream first, and got the validation through a pathology report on my 40th birthday. You lost your mother to breast cancer. I lost my mother to colon cancer. We both wrote books and your book is so amazing. So we share much in common. So I want to ask you about some questions that I didn't share. I was not a single parent, and you were. And I didn't have to worry about paying my bills, and you did. So your experiences on many levels went much deeper than mine. So let's start with the first thing that you really thought about. How did you tell your 7-year-old son and your 8-year-old daughter that there was a problem?
Well, I didn't know how best to tell them because they knew that my mom had passed away from breast cancer. So I always tried to keep my mom's memory alive because she died many years before they were born. So they only know of my mother from stories I tell them. So when they say what happened to Grandma Jackie, I tell them that she was sick. And as they got older and they saw, other friends, grandparents passing away from different types of diseases such as cancer, they knew a little bit about it. So I felt like I needed to be honest about how she had passed. So they knew. So I had a wonderful nurse navigator named Diane. I call her Deborah in my book because I wanted to give her some anonymity, which we laugh about today. But she gave me a book called The Paper Chain, which was a story about a mom who had cancer, and it was a way for me to tell my children. It's a children's book. So I sat down with my kids, and I didn't do it for quite a while because I didn't know what my situation was. So, you have the biopsy, you know how that whole thing goes, and then I had my bilateral mastectomies, and I thought maybe this will be, I had this, crazy thought in my mind that I would go in, have my mastectomies, and then have my new implants put in, and, call it a day, and I had a new rack. It's like a joke about, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get my new rack, get rid of the cancer, and you don't know that that's not how it goes. People don't know that that's not how it is. So I remember when I went to the breast surgeon, to the plastic surgeon, the nurse in there kept telling me, are you sure you want to do the reconstruction now? And she asked me a whole bunch of times. I thought, why is she asking me this question? Well, it's because it's such a difficult journey, and I didn't know it at the time. So when I went in, I didn't tell my kids all of the things that were coming because I didn't know. So when I went in, I had my bilateral mastectomies, and then I had my expanders put in with the thought that maybe I was in the clear. And then I would tell the kids, Mom just had, found a boo-boo on her chest, and that's initially how I told them, and that my kids hug me all the time. So I said, you can't hug Mom tight because it's going to hurt for a little bit, but I'm going to be okay. And then I got the pathology report back. And initially, my breast surgeon had said, it looks like everything's good. When they just look at everything initially under the microscope in the operating room. And I thought it was going to be good. And then I went back for my report, my checkup, and he said, listen, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to need, 6 to 12 months of chemotherapy. And you know how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
The world just, the ground drops from underneath you, honestly. I could imagine myself being on that ride, that ride that spins around and around and it goes high and then all of a sudden you drop. That's how I felt. And then I realized I was going to have to tell my kids. So that's when I talked to my nurse navigator who, if people don't know what nurse navigators do, they are wonderful people who help us through our journey. And she gave me this book. So I sat down with the kids, and I started to read the book, and then they were watching, they were listening, looking at the pictures, and then all of a sudden the C word came up. And it's not the C word that everyone else thinks we're talking about, but it's cancer. So they saw it, and my daughter, my kids are pretty savvy, and she's 8. She was 8 at the time. She goes, Mom, do you have cancer? And I said, yes, I do. And she just lost it because all she thought about was my mom who had passed, because I was honest about that. But, my mom died in 1996. It's been 23 years, and my goodness, medicine and treatments has changed dramatically in that 23 years, even since I had cancer 10 years ago. So I knew I was going to be okay. I had a big, long fight ahead of me. But that's how I told my kids. And then, it was kind of a journey that I brought them in on. And I make fun of it in my book. And I brought my kids along on that journey. We made fun of, what color wigs we're going to get. And my daughter said, why don't you get pink? And my son said green. I said, guess what, guys? I still have to come to your, your second grade play. My son looked at me and goes, I guess you better not get the Better not get the green, Mom. He said, why don't you just get blonde and be like yourself? But we had a lot